Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of what I like to call Why So Sidious Light and Live. So it's not quite like a normal Why So Sidious episode, something a bit light, something a bit fresh, something just a little bit different that me and JD have just sort of taken to starting last week that we're going to try and do a little bit going forward as well. It's not a full on episode, it's just a bit of fun chat. Anything we like, open discussion, whether it's live, nerd stuff, whatever you want. Jump in the comments, give us a question and we'll fill in the gaps either way. Last week we had a chat about our lives, about our family, about our careers and stuff. So, a few different things I think we're going to chat about this week. But first and foremost, JD buddy, how are you? Good morning.
I am doing good, sir. Yes, it is a good morning. I had a failed attempt at getting an Idaho ID. Got to get that. And yeah, just didn't bring the old proof of residency and wasted an early morning, wasted an appointment, wasted a drive. So it started off pretty solid.
Good, nice start to a Tuesday morning then. Well, for me, I guess the day's pretty much. Well, I say pretty much over. It's mostly over because it's like 5 p.m. in the UK right about now. So my day's done and dusted. Um, haven't really done a lot. Just chilled with the little one as normal today. She was a little bit unwell last week, so just recovering from the back end of that. And right now she's refusing to nap, so it's always fun looking at the monitor. Because I look at the monitor and it's got like demon eyes because the light
Yeah,
like
they
light
reflect.
shines on the eyes and it's just scares the crap out of me every time.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not going in there, demon. Um,
that's true. It is kind of spooky.
what I was going to ask you about, to be fair, is gaming. Are you a big gamer? Do you get to game a lot? Obviously, yeah, we've both got families. I've got to do next to zero gaming since my little one was born. I think the only game I've played in full since she was born was actually Star Wars Outlaws. And I think I even had like a 3 month break in the middle of it because I kind of like got wrapped up with the little one. So and then went back and finished it off. But yeah, are you a big gamer at all?
I don't know if I could call myself a gamer because I do play video games a lot, but I only play a select few and I play those a lot. And that's always how I've been. So I don't have a wide arsenal of games I've played, but I'm like Rocket League. That's my daily. That's never changed. Like that's my fun little competition. Just sit down and do it. If I'm really going to get into it, Elden Ring or Red Dead Redemption 2. Elden Ring's my favorite game ever. But going into the past, like Pokemon Crystal, I don't know if that even counts as a video game, but that's one of my favorite old games, nostalgia and everything. I could play that now. Need for Speed was a big one back in the day when Xbox first came out. Need for Speed, Underground, and Most Wanted. Those were really great. And of course, Call of Duty. A lot of Call of Duty. I was obsessed with zombies for a while, especially when they started to implement like winning the game after a very long chain of Easter eggs you have to accomplish. It's very, very hard. Sometimes it takes 3, 4 hours, but you could actually beat those zombie games after just like really creative spells and gatherings of items and all this crazy stuff. So zombies was cool. Yeah, I liked Max Payne, of course. Madden. I played a lot of Madden. So yeah, the old games like Max Payne, I really do miss when video games had a very like clear campaign where you just, you pick up your controller and you make your way through the map and kill people and gather intel. But nowadays, I think the campaigns are way too overdone.
Mm.
But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I struggle with a lot of the big modern games simply because they're not built to be user friendly for new people. You go in and it's like the 7th or 12th version of the game, and all the online multiplayer ones are outrageous and have so much connected to them that it's hard to get into it as a noob. And then I play the story mode, and it's weird because I kind of gone off fighting games or games that you have to constantly fight in and have like firefights and stuff. They kind of like put me off a little bit nowadays. I prefer story driven games. But then, having said that, when I think about the games that I enjoy the most, when I talk about things like the Mass Effect trilogy, or like Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, that I've been playing like non stop for the last like 7 years or 8 years, it's all fighting games. So, but nothing's ever going to stop me being Anakin and going onto a field full of clankers and just wiping them all out. So,
I was gonna say also, of course, Fallen Order and Spider-Man. Those are
mm,
two really great games recently that I played a
yeah.
lot of.
I mean, I have one constant that's always on the go because I've played every iteration of this for about 30 odd years. So I kind of play it on autopilot. I don't consider it gaming. My wife's like, but it's a game. You sit at the PC and you play it for hours. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I do other stuff on the other screen at the same time. So I'm kind of playing it and I'm watching things or doing other things. It's a game called Football Manager. So when I say football, I mean like soccer for you guys, but we call it obviously proper football. And it's just obviously the fact that it's got all the leagues simulated and it's got the players. It's just a management game. It's not like FIFA or Madden where you actually physically play the game. You manage the club and your team, so you're the manager, and you obviously have to like set up all your tactics for your team. You do get to play the game, but you're the manager on the sideline, so you can adjust your tactics, make your substitutions, buy and sell players, try and set up the club financially, by getting revenue and stuff like that. So it's basically a whole management game, and I've come to like more management games overall. So things like Jurassic World Evolution games, like Two Point Campus, anything that along that kind of range where you get to like manage the system rather than like physically play is a bit more my niche nowadays. Um, Having said that, I've got back into the Assassin's Creed games because they've gone more back towards the old school games, like the originals, rather than like the newer like versions where you have to play 10 hours before you even get the intro finished and stuff like that. So yeah, I still call myself a gamer. I mean, my other half, she loves like Final Fantasy, Dragon Age, all those sorts of things. But yeah, I prefer story-driven games nowadays. So I've been sort of seeking those out rather than sort of like games where I've got to go and just shoot everybody non-stop.
I might have a recommendation for you. And before that, I also, of course, Super Smash Brothers was one of my favorite games ever. I really, really loved that one. But going back to this recommendation, have you heard of Shadow Tactics?
Yeah.
Have you played it?
No.
Well, I found that really addicting. And that is a game that if you told me about it, I would not want to play it. But somehow I ended up playing it at a buddy's, and it was so addicting. It's so fun. It's not like your button mashing action at all. You're also not going there for great action. You're not going there for like great Ghost of Tsushima combat, right? Like this is more of a skill technique game. That is, it kind of plays like a board game, but not that rigid. I mean, you could just run around and like stab people, but you'll get seen really quickly. Like that's more of what it's based on: sneaking around, killing, hiding the body. You could be four different characters and set up each of their moves, like move them each around where they need to go, hiding, and you could have them all kill someone in separate locations at once. That's really fun. But that one has a good story. It's very much like Ghost of Tsushima. Just take that, and it's like somewhere between that and like a board game, which that's why it doesn't sound fun. But I really did like that style, and it was very unique and very addicting because I liked the challenge of how to make it through these maps and how to sneak around. So it was like Splinter Cell in that way too, but still not that much of like a first person. Like, how do I explain it? It's not like, it doesn't feel that modern. It is simpler like a board game, even simpler than Splinter Cell, because that's not the type of action you're playing. But very unique, very good game. You should give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at it. I just don't have the time nowadays because like once the little one's gone to bed settled and you've done all the washing up and sorted out all the other crap you need to, I've got about an hour and a half where we might normally watch like an episode or two of a show or maybe a short film, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to bed because I'm knackered. So like finding any proper time to properly game nowadays is just almost impossible at the moment. So I'm like,
what
I've
about
got a backlog of stuff that I need to get through as well.
what about when you're just at home watching Sophia? You can't just throw on a game and kind of watch her. You got to get up every now and then to help out. But
well, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I want to concentrate on the game. I want to give it like my full attention, and I can't do that when there's like a 1-year-old like sort of roaming around the place. And like today, she was just crawling along, and she like ran over and smacked her face into something, and like bust her lip open and stuff. And I'm like, cool, that's like half an hour of getting her settled back down again because she's upset and stuff. So yeah, I don't feel like when she's around. I mean, I throw on films in the background with her, just that like just. But again, it's got to be stuff I can't concentrate on because I've got to pay more attention to her half the time. I love having a kid, but it's annoying as hell that I can't give something my full attention when she's around. So like today we watched Ghostbusters and we've watched Alien versus Predator. It's just like so.
It's so funny when she processes those like beings, like holy crap, what is that?
She laughs. So like my partner, she watches this streamer that does like crime scene cleanup, and whenever she's like cleaning up the blood and stuff, she just sits there laughing. And like today when we had Ghostbusters on, you know that scene where Sigourney Weaver's character is sitting in the chair and like the dog sort of like grab her and like pull her through the kitchen door. That happened, and she just burst out laughing.
Really? That's
So I'm
so
like, she's
funny.
a little sadistic already, I think, because she just loves seeing people get harmed.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny.
so yeah, I figured at 1 year old she's not really going to process much of like horror stuff. Like I'm not putting super gory stuff on, so it's not like I'm putting Saw on or something like that.
Alien vs
Um,
Predator is PG-13, huh? It's not even
I think
R
so,
for
yeah.
that
So I don't
gore.
think it's like particularly gory or like out there. So like I said, an alien popped on the screen and she laughed. So
Which
I was like, okay, fair enough.
what was the studio thinking doing Alien vs Predator and then
I don't
making it
know.
lightweight? Come
Yeah,
on.
that film had the potential to be so much better as well.
Well, yeah, it's something I still want to see done well. I would like a Freddy vs Jason reboot and an Alien vs Predator reboot.
Yeah, well, they've got the rights. I think they're building up to it again. They,
You know what, dude? Sam Raimi on Freddy vs Jason. Why not? That's like best of both worlds. He does his sci-fi action and he does his horror. Like that would be so sick.
I mean, I feel like they are building up to it again because we've had obviously a bunch of alien stuff come out recently. You know, Romulus, Alien Earth,
And
which is
Predator,
probably going
yeah.
to continue. Obviously, Predator, Killer of Killers, the animated one on Disney Plus. Predator Badlands is out next month. I booked my ticket yesterday for it. So
PG-13 again, though.
is it though? I didn't check to see what it was. To be
That
fair,
is kind of annoying, dude. That made me way less excited that this new Predator movie because it looked good. I thought the trailer looked kind of fun and different. So, and it was PG-13.
Mhm.
I know it could still be good. You never know, but
I mean,
it's
but
it is the
Prey was
Predator.
really good though, wasn't it? So
But that was R, wasn't it?
I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest.
It had to have been
Um,
R. I don't know.
Either way, they're doing a lot with these franchises at the moment, so I can't not see them doing an Alien versus Predator in the near future because it's been like 20 years since we last had one. So
Yeah,
we do one for sure.
yeah. Well, and look at Freddy vs. Jason. The way he pulls Freddy's head out of the water, and Freddy winks. Like, man, give us another one of those. Let's go. What a
um,
fun idea.
yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. I think it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm getting more into horror stuff. It's never really been my bag, but I've been getting more into it a bit more, especially with gaming as well, because I like. It's weird because you obviously you don't really want to be anxious or like you have your backup when you're doing something or when you're trying to relax gaming, so to speak. Like playing things like Alien Isolation or like because I was talking about how I like story led games. So there's this game called The Quarry. I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it, but it's just basically like kids are out at they're like camp counselors that have stayed behind after the camp's finished and they're being hunted by werewolves. And as you go through the game, you make different decisions for all the different characters, and like whether you like miss a beat on something that someone gets killed, or if you make a bad decision, that character gets killed, or if you make a good one, that person lives. And you basically got to get through to the end of the game and see how many people you can get through to the end of the game still alive at the end of the night. So it's just fun little things like that on horror based stuff. But yeah, I need to I've been thinking about going back and watching the Saw franchise from the beginning because I think I lost it after the third or fourth one, and haven't really watched in those what like 11 of them now or something. It's like Fast and Furious; they're just churning them out. So yeah, I think I might go back and watch that.
I had a funny thought after our last week in Geek when I was comparing Fast and the Furious to Mission Impossible or 007.
Yeah.
But then I come to realize after I edited and listened to that, I genuinely actually like the Fast and Furious franchise more, which is just a
Ooh.
shame. It's a shame. I get it, but
Oh my
it just is
goodness.
what it is. Fast Five, I really like that one. The first Fast and Furious movie, love it. Fast Two, whatever, Fast and whatever Two, love it. And then Tokyo Drift is actually underrated.
Hmm.
I
That
had more
is
of an
a
attachment to that franchise than I do 007, which is
that's a
goofy
hot take.
because I know
It's
they're
weird.
way. I'm not saying they're better movies, but I
But
do have a little. I guess it's a little bit of a guilty pleasure. I do like some Vin Diesel, man. And if Brian stuck around, if Paul Walker never passed away, man, I'd probably still be a big fan of that franchise. But that was tough to recover from.
I mean, we have to accept nowadays that a good film does not equal box office success. It's like a good film is should always be have more success than say just an average to fun film. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters anymore. I mean, look at the Jurassic World, the four films we've got that. Apart from the first one, the last three have pretty much been trash, but they were super successful because people love dinos and Jurassic Park. So
Yeah.
same with Fast and Furious. I haven't watched anything beyond five, I don't think.
You didn't
And
like Five?
Well, I mean, I just haven't bothered with the rest because I'm just like, how many things can you do here? And then I keep seeing the trailers and all the clips and going, this just gets more and more ridiculous.
I
And
would
therefore, I'm
stop at
just
Fast
like,
Five. Yeah, might as well not continue. I think there's like some good scenes, but like I think the best one is the one where Paul Walker passed. So half of
hmm,
it was CGI face or his brother. So that, and they had to do some weird editing. It just didn't turn out to be good. But I really did like it at first, and then halfway through the movie is when they didn't have the filming for Paul Walker or something like that. So
hmm.
it just felt so choppy at the end of it where I can't even recommend that one. So stopping at Fast Five and even giving Hobbs and Shaw a shot. I thought Hobbs and Shaw was a good movie, very different from the rest of the franchise,
Hmm.
but the same.
So I can absolutely accept you saying you might prefer like the fun of the Fast and Furious franchise to Bond, but we can't sit here and say Bond. Sorry, that Fast and the FNF franchise is better than Bond.
No, clearly, right, right, right.
But it's
We're
weird because I've discovered that Americans in general aren't overly fussed about Bond. It tends to
yeah.
be the rest of the world, like Europeans and well, yeah. To be fair, the rest of the world, apart from America, tend to be more keen on Bond than
Well,
Americans are.
maybe because Americans don't have much class. There's a lot of class in the 007s.
Although they love Hitman, so don't know how
Well,
it's
yeah,
too
take a little
different.
class out of 007 and you have Hitman.
So,
No, that was a
uh,
fun game too.
oh, it definitely was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I get a little frustrated sometimes with some of the sneaking around and like just trying to get things, and I'm like, fuck's sake, it just gets annoying because sometimes I just give up on the sneaking plan and I just go all out attack. I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
be asked with this. I'm just going to bulldoze it, son it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were definitely were fun games. To be fair, they need a
Yeah.
new. I'd love to see a remake of that. Although they have had an update recently on the latest one, isn't it, where Jackie Chan got added into
Oh,
Hitman.
wow. Interesting.
So I don't know how that I haven't seen what that particular like DLC would be, but that should be something fun.
Yeah.
You wanted to run through some polls
Okay.
from
Yeah.
YouTube that you were running.
Let's run some polls. So I'll ask you if you want to do this. Oh no, I was going to say cover your eyes when I put it on screen, but let's just do,
Ah!
no, don't do that. I'll pull it up on my phone before I display it. Let me see which one I'm doing first here. So for you guys listening, these are polls we put up on YouTube. Probably too close to the mic. It's all yelling. Polls we put up on YouTube, various questions with 4 options. With all this nerd stuff, it's actually kind of hard to see which one's which. So how about this? Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes, and
Oh
I'm going to
no.
ask you. So the first one is, which DC villain would you be most excited to see confirmed or cast DCU live action? There's Black Glove, Anton Arcane, Eris, and Mr. Freeze.
Ooh. I think personally I'd go Mr. Freeze.
You got it. That's the first one.
Whoa.
Results.
Oh, by a landslide as well.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to make this bigger. So there it is. Me personally, I would probably, yeah, God, I guess Mr. Freeze. I guess Mr. Freeze, because I think he is one of the best villains that needs to be like given a modern on-screen adaptation. He has a really rich story. You're going to be able to side with that villain. His whole thing being to save his wife, and he'll kill whoever gets in his way, and that's where Batman gets involved. So I think that's a lot of fun. He should be a villain very soon. And I cannot exit out of this page. Oh, there it is. All right. But Anton Arcane, I'd be stoked about. That's Swamp Thing's main villain. Black Glove, he was heavily involved in the introduction of Damian Wayne. He was one of the main villains throughout Damian's like first year in DC Comics. He's pretty cool, and he's tied to the Wayne lineage, and he's kind of like a Court of Owls type of villain, does corrupting, manipulative things. Anyway. All right, next.
All right, next one.
Christopher Nolan retires after one more movie. Pick the franchise. Marvel, Star Wars, DC, or Lord of the Rings?
Ooh. You know what? I'd probably go Lord of the Rings.
Is that what you want, or that's what you think got number 1?
Oh, okay, interesting. That's probably what I would want him to do.
Interesting. I like
Because
that.
he's done DC. I don't actually think he'd fit into Star Wars. I'm not also sure he'd fit into Marvel either, unless he was doing like a big serious Avengers movie. So I think I would personally think he'd be better suited to maybe do a Lord of the Rings because I
Okay.
think they
Uh,
rely too much on Peter Jackson.
What do you
um,
think is first place?
I still think that people have probably picked Marvel since he's done DC
Nope.
already.
Results. Marvel's second to
Oh,
last. Star Wars pulls it, dude, by a margin.
interesting. Interesting, because yeah, I just don't see him as like a Star Wars director.
Um, well, he did Interstellar. It's really, really solid space
Yeah, but
stuff.
it's not necessarily about space. It's just the style of the film he does. He doesn't like Star Wars for the most part is supposed to be like it's not serious in a way, but it kind of is at the same point. So
Well, it
Star Wars
should
is
be.
a little bit serious, but it also kind of feels light and it doesn't feel over the top, even though there's some
Okay.
pretty heavy subject matter in it. But you know what I mean? It feels
No, that's
like
a good. Yeah.
I think of Star Wars being between Marvel and DC in terms of like the seriousness and goofiness. Like we see DC has been the more serious type films, Marvel is the lighter action comedy type film, and I think Star Wars is kind of in between that for me. So yeah, I would see. I just wouldn't have thought that he would like because any Star Wars film he does, I could only see being full out serious.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. I personally think that Marvel and DC are pretty well off with directors, and I would really prefer him. I think I agree with you. I would be thrilled for the Tolkien universe to have a him signed on to a movie because it's gonna pretty guarantee it to be good, and the Tolkien universe can really, really use that right now.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
would really. Could you imagine if I would? I wish Rings of Power ended with a movie. The
yeah.
kind of the prologue of Lord of the Rings being the movie of the climax of Rings of Power, but I haven't heard much on Rings of Power yet, by the way, either. I'm really excited to see where that goes too.
Yeah, we need obviously that season three soon. So I mean, I suppose we only got season two last year, didn't we? So
Yeah. All right.
all right, next one.
I know which one this is, so you don't have to close your eyes.
Okay.
The next one, who wins, Superman or Goku?
Oh, I always, from what I've seen anyway, I think the popular consensus has always been that Goku would win.
Superman takes it in the results, but I think Goku wins this fight.
Oh, that's
Dude,
that is such a heavy landslide. That is
that's
unreal.
too much. Goku was trained to fight. He could transport himself in the snap of a finger across the freaking planet. Like his Kamehameha, his Spirit Bomb, his Kaioken. I just don't see Superman winning this fight. Plus,
That is.
Goku Saiyans get stronger when they get defeated. He's gonna
Hmm.
get beat. He's gonna eat a sensu bean. He's gonna be stronger.
I can't believe that it's that big a landslide.
I know, right? Yeah, I don't agree, man. I think Goku takes that one. Not even like crazy Super Saiyan 3 or this new modern Dragon Ball Z stuff. I mean, like Super Saiyan 2 Goku takes Superman,
Mm.
in my opinion. Oh, well, here's the
Oh
results
well.
anyway. Best on screen villain out of these four. Do you agree?
Oh, I one of my podcast did an episode of like what I thought were the best on-screen villains of all time, and I barely even gave Joker an honorable mention. We're talking about on-screen villains though, so obviously the picture there is Heath Ledger's Joker. So I guess we're specifically
That's
talking
what I
about.
mean. Yeah. So those specific characters' roles.
I think he did an incredible job in that film, um, but I think any hero that's willing to kill would have ended Joker so quickly in
That's
that
not his
situation.
fault. That's Batman's fault.
No, I know that. But when you're looking at it, going, okay, you can only go up against the hero you've put up against. Palpatine being that low is a shocker to me as well because he's an absolute fucking mastermind.
Well, yeah,
Like
he's the big bad of the whole thing. He needs more
he
credit than
does
that.
not get the credit he deserves. To
Yeah.
me, like Vader's the original baddie, the original villain. Like the original Star Wars film, he only has what like 12 minutes of screen time, and he left a lasting impression over decades from that. Yeah, we obviously know his story in the end and the fact that he turns back to the light as well, and but he's still badass villain at the end of the day. So if we're talking about the best on-screen villain. To me, Palpatine would be number one. That might
Yeah,
be my
like
Star Wars bias, but
no,
I
but I
would.
kind
I
of
think
get it.
you look over three trilogies of Star Wars and what this guy does. Even if you
Right.
took like the Plagueis novel that isn't technically canon, and you still had that as part of his story, the stuff he does in there is unreal as well. So, to
That
me, Palpatine should be top of this list if we're talking like properly without bias.
yeah, I kind of agree with you. I see both sides. Like Vader's on-screen presence was better. He was like a more direct
Hmm.
villain, like here to get shit done. Whereas Palpatine was manipulating from the background, so it's not like he had epic screen time or this great like Vader's look is just so perfect and iconic and like Palpatine's got a great design and everything, but he just the background villain deserves more credit, but he just doesn't have that screen time that screams this is my favorite villain because you have to understand the whole lore. You have to understand how that worked throughout episode 1 through 6. um so yeah, and then the Plagueis book even making it better. Give me a second, my kid's crying. Let me go see what's up.
Okay.
And we're back.
No good.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Okay. Okay.
All right, out of these four. Oh, okay. Out of these four, which comic would you want to see adapted to the big screen for the DCU or Elseworlds? I got Deceased, Injustice, Dark Knight's Metal, and Doomsday Clock.
Ooh. I think probably the one that's been voted the most is Injustice.
Close. Second
Ah,
place,
Deceased.
Deceased, baby. We're gonna cover this pretty soon,
Hmm.
y'all. Deceased, whether that's volume 1, because there's Deceased has 3 main trades. There's Deceased, and then there's Deceased Dead Planet, and then there's Deceased War of the Undead Gods. There's a couple more tie-in trades that don't really push that narrative forward. They're just good little side stories, but I don't know if you would want to just do Deceased or do all 3 of them.
I mean, I can either way. I mean, if it's the whole story, I'll read the whole story.
Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, yeah. I'll give you details because yeah, it's like 6 issues for each of those.
That shouldn't take
Anyway,
me too long.
I don't know if I want to even see it on screen. I love it so much as a
Hmm.
comic. Like it is so good, and I just don't even know if they could pull that off. Injustice, however, is something I would absolutely love to see as an Elseworlds story. Doomsday Clock, don't have much interest in that, to be honest. And Dark Knight's Metal is a little too outlandish for the big screen. I think that should stay in comics too. So I would put Injustice as number 1.
Yeah, that's what I would have gone for as well. But I mean, on my personal vote, so
Yeah, I think Deceased would do better once we are kind of attached to the DCU characters. And like we understand each character more because Deceased does really good at giving each character moments, like being true to their character. But like the general fan base isn't attached to like a Green Arrow or even like an Aquaman or even really a Flash or Wonder Woman as much as they should be. So give the DCU a chance to shine for a few years before we get attached to these characters because things play pretty crazy in Deceased. So like you're gonna, I mean, yeah, that's all I'll say. It's really good stuff. So anyway, hi buddy, what do you need? What do you got? He was showing me a bouncy ball. Okay. Who wins 1v1, Superman or Darkseid? That's funny. Didn't we talk about this recently? No, that was someone else at the bar. I was bartending yesterday, got called in for a shift.
oh, I mean, the natural reaction would be to say Dark Side.
That's what I thought, dude. But they got Superman in here too. Interesting.
our YouTube is just full of Superman lovers because they're just voting him top of
I
everything.
guess. That movie really got a bunch of fans going. So, but Darkseid is a Justice League villain. If Superman could take him, especially at this 70% ratio, it's only 20 votes, but still, he would be a Superman villain. He's a Justice League villain for a reason because Superman can't just go beat him up.
He's a galactic villain. So.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Which character would you be most excited to see cast in the DCU? Got Animal Man, Cyborg, Zatanna, and Miracle Man.
Ooh. See, my heart would say Zatanna, but I think everyone.
You got it.
Oh yeah.
Zatanna takes it.
Ooh, Justice. Oh yeah.
That's a close one. Yeah, I would 100% agree. To be honest, Zatanna comes with so much of that magic world, and that could be a really, really fun movie. See, I think Zoe Saldana would fit perfectly into that role. Just perfect.
I mean,
And
she's
then,
been in every other high-ranking franchise in history, so
right,
she may as well jump on to DC.
right. What is it? It's Avatar and Marvel, and
Avatar,
then
Marvel, Star Trek. Was she in Star Wars?
keep cooking. I'm going to help him put on a Band-Aid.
Sorry, I'm just trying to wonder what else she's been in. It's bugging me now that I can't think. I might have to have a quick Google. Zoe franchises.
And yeah, like Infinity War and Avatar, the highest grossing films ever. I mean, Endgame, Infinity War, Avatar.
So yeah, it's just basically Avatar, Marvel, and Star Trek. I thought she maybe had a small. Oh, she was in Pirates of the Caribbean as well, apparently.
You know what? I kind of have to rescind. I think Miracle Man would make me happier because that comes with Apocalypse and the new gods and the
Hmm.
old gods and a lot of Dark Side and the High Father and Orion, dude. That comes with a lot of DC Galactic lore. So I'm putting Miracle Man as number one.
I mean that my heart was saying Zatanna in terms of there, but personally, I'm with you. I think I would want to see Miracle Man out
Yeah,
of those
dude.
four. We've just seen Cyborg, to be fair, and I don't think was it Ray? I can't remember his name, the guy that played him, but I don't think he did a bad iteration. But again, you only got to see him for one film, and then that's the DCEU dead, isn't it? So,
Well, like I wanted a Cyborg film, but I didn't want a
mm.
Cyborg film in the Justice League film. Like it
Well,
was
that's
like
what we got
so
for a lot of things, though,
Cyborg.
isn't it? So,
Yeah. So anyway, I think we just have one more. Ready?
okay.
Ooh, did I already add that one? Oops, accidentally added that one twice. Yeah, well, that's it for now on polls. There are more polls that we'll keep doing this, whether it's Nerd Therapy or Why So Sidious Lite Live. But yeah, what'd you think?
I mean, I like doing the polls, to be fair. Surprising, some of them. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some bias from fans in some of these, some of those top answers. To be fair, but
Yeah, that's
um,
feel free to add your own polls to YouTube too, whatever you want. It's pretty
but
easy. You go to make a post and then you
hmm.
scroll over and you could add 2 to 4 images and then you title it and all that. Sorry, cut you off.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say that in terms of who's the ultimate character that they haven't announced for the DCU yet that you would personally want to see in there. Like out of
Good
every single character
question.
that's not been asked that they've not announced it, because obviously they've announced loads of projects. We've seen quite a few already throughout the different series and films that they've already given us. But yeah, who's your number one person you're desperate to see?
The first, there's a hero and villain that comes to mind. I cannot wait to see what they do with the Flash. So I think the
Mm.
Flash casting is one of my most anticipated. Um, After the failure of that Ezra Miller movie, I think they're going to put a lot of care into that, and they should because the Speed Force is so important to the DC universe. My other big question mark, biggest anticipation is as boring and repetitive as it sounds, the Joker. Like I really want to see that Joker casting, and I don't expect him anytime soon because we've had so much Joker. I think he'll be farther down the line, but the Flash and Joker are both my biggest anticipated castings. How about you?
Mhm. Well, yeah, I mean, I think you know that the Flash and Reverse Flash are my two favorite DC characters. So I'm after the disappointment of that Flash movie, because I'm not going to sugarcoat any way. I was so bitterly disappointed with that film, and then the fact that you kind of do Flashpoint without the Reverse Flash,
Yeah,
which is the most ridiculous thing ever. And I know that because I've talked about it with you guys when I was guesting on Sidious before I joined, and the fact that you guys haven't really watched like the CW Flash TV show.
I have.
Um,
I've seen it.
but, oh, you seen all of it, have you? Okay. Well, I mean, you didn't even need to see all of it, but I'm just talking. I think I talked a bit about season one. How, yeah, obviously there's a lot of like villain of the week type episodes and filler and stuff like that. But when you have the main plot points of that season, the whole build up between Harrison Wells and Airborne Thorn, and then it actually coming to be the Reverse Flash from like about halfway through the season onwards. Um, to me, it's one of the greatest superhero seasons of TV that we've ever had. And so then the build up of the Reverse Flash in that, and then the disappointment of not getting him in this Flash movie, and the amount of obviously castings that are being thrown out there for him. Obviously, I think one of the favourites is oh god, his name's escaping now, but the dude that plays Homelander,
Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr. That's it. He seems to be like the fan favorite to play that role because obviously he's got the villain thing down
Hmm.
as we've seen now with Homelander.
The
So.
crazy petty villain thing down
Mm.
too.
So to me, I think yeah, getting Flash and Reverse Flash into the DCU is like my biggest want right now out of all of it. Simply because they're my favorite characters, and I can't think of any others that I'd want to see battle on screen more than these two. And I know that there's always been a thing that they seem to struggle to maybe get like the running and fighting at those speeds right
It's
on
tough.
screen. Yeah, because you've got to like. Obviously, the key thing is that you've got to make it look as if they're moving super fast, but at the same point, you've got to slow it down so we can watch the action.
Yeah.
um, so I think they've always sort of done it where the world just slows around them, isn't it? And everything's at a snail's pace while the two are moving, or the like speedsters are moving super fast. I think a lot of people have said that Makari in the
I was
Eternals,
just thinking that.
he was
Yeah.
saying that's probably the best iteration of like a
So good.
speedster on screen that we've
So good.
seen. So yeah, I'm with you that it's key that they get the Flash casting right. It's key that they then get his introduction and first solo film spot on as well after what we've had. Because I never thought Ezra Miller was the right choice for the Flash. I just don't think he fitted the character well. Didn't really like him in Justice League, and then yeah, in his movie was. I mean, when we already know the DCU's dead as well when that film's coming out, it didn't really help. But yeah, so disappointments all round. But and if they can correct that, I'll be super happy.
Yeah, going back to Flashpoint, the Ezra Miller movie not having Reverse Flash is just one of the most absurd things. That's literally like throwing Batman into a Gotham without Joker. Like he just doesn't exist and never does
Mm.
exist. He is so integral to that story, and what happens there is so important to all of Barry's career. Like his whole career and some giant events in the DC are all based off this. Like that's his whole origin story, dude. You can't just stop that from happening. So yeah, you can't do that. So I'm they're gonna take their time, but I'm excited to see the Flash. Like that's gotta be just I know how much care they're gonna put into it with the DCU. It's more important. This carries more weight than Ezra Miller's Flash, which was like the end of a universe and everyone knew it.
Yeah,
And man, I can't wait to see how the Speed Force fits into it. And you know, Reverse Flash is going to be the villain there, so
yeah.
they're not going to do that. But then you got this thing where they just did the Flashpoint story. Are you really going to do a Flash movie with him? You know, his mom dying again and him figuring that out? Probably not. They're probably going to have to do some kind of Spider-Man one. I would kind of love it, just a classic kind of hero villain. You know what they're going to do? It'll be more of a Rogue War. It'll be more of a Captain
Mm.
Cold and those rogues
Mm.
oriented because we didn't get any of that. We don't have Ezra Miller's Captain Cold or Mirror Man or any of that. So I bet you big money the first Flash movie will be literally just him versus his Central City rogues, which is exciting. That sounds cool.
I mean, they don't have to do Flashpoint straight from the off either. You don't need to do
No,
that story
of
straight from
course.
the off because obviously you could have it build up over the next 5-10 years that he ends up going through so much pain and some characters might get killed off and stuff like that that he then decides that he can't take it anymore and like kill his dad off at some point like they did in the TV series, which is what triggered him to go and do Flashpoint in the TV series. So you don't have to do it straight away. You don't have to touch it, but you still need to have Reverse Flash there from the start. I think, like, you
Dude,
don't need to do the origin story of him either necessarily. You can do. I think maybe you can maybe do 15 minutes of his origin at the start of the movie, just to get it up and running, and then just the mystery of the Reverse Flash and bringing that into it could be the like a bit of Captain Cold and stuff like that thrown in, where they're not defeated, but they're like having little cameos or little bits, a few scenes here and there as he's learning his powers and stuff to deal with it and
yeah.
stuff. But hire me. I'll write it. I'll write the story. It's all good.
Dude, I was just gonna say, could you imagine if like they're not gonna do this, but if you start the movie with the perspective of an Eobard, like a scientist like that's from the future who's studying
Mm.
Barry Allen, so we get this like narration of the Flash's life, and then you kind of go back to the present and live with Barry and get his character down and do some normal present day movie stuff. And then we kind of keep going back to this narrator. And then by the end of it, this narrator like comes back and shows up as Reverse Flash. Something like that would be sick.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the captain, the rogues the whole time, but while Eobard Thawne is sitting there growing his resentment for the Flash, and we're learning how and why. That would be sick. How and why he hates him so much, and then like, boom, the movie ends with him getting his Speed Force and getting this yellow suit on or something. But yeah,
Need it. I need the Reverse Flash so badly.
yeah, for sure.
I think that should probably wrap it up for today. I think.
Sounds good to me, man.
We've got a few episodes that have dropped recently. Obviously, Nerd Therapies. We've got Week in Geeks. It's not dropped on Spotify and everything yet, I don't think. But the Star Wars roadmap is obviously on YouTube. You can go and catch that. We've obviously got things upcoming as well. We're going to be doing Alien Earth. We're going to be doing Gen V. We've got some obviously other nerd therapies, lots of stuff in the pipeline as well as some comic book reviews. We've just done Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man volumes 1 to 3 with a little extra spoiler on the end. Ignore that bit.
I think I edited it out. I might have edited it out.
Go ahead and have a look at that, because that's been a great read. That's really hot right now with comics. We've got some more comics reviews up. We're going to do Deceased soon as well, amongst other stuff. So we've got lots planned, so make sure you're tuning in for that. Anything else I've missed at the moment? Oh, we're going to do a box office draft update soon as well. I've asked for some numbers so I can calculate where the guys are, because there's only 2 films out of everyone's left to come out. I think Caleb's got one, and I think you've got one, haven't you, still to come?
I thought I was done, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I've got them saved on my phone. Either way, from what I've heard, GDs could be very far ahead right now.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy, yes, all 6 films has come. Caleb's still got one, which is Wicked Part 2. And then David has still got one film. What the hell is that?
It's not Tron, is it?
No. I can't even see what. Oh, Zootopia 2.
Gotcha. Which could be a banger.
Potentially, yeah. So we'll do an update on the box office draft soon, since we're in the last quarter of the year, and we'll see who's leading the way that. And then next year I can take part in that. That's going to be fun. I'm gonna see where we go from that. But
that'd be cool.
Well, that's it for this week's Light and Live. Why So Sidious? But join us next time as always, and we'll see you then.